order. I'd like Mr. Cal and Mr. Frenier to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Very nice.
Break them in.
Yes,
Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
certainly. Beston. Bullock. Bergdorf. Cal. Chapman. Clay. Misso. Kraus. Cunningham. Dawson. Demolowitz. Drake. Ethier. Feeney. Fine. Frenier. Grimm. Higgins. Hogan. Andrew Joyce.
Here.
Raymond Joyce. Lacattis. Lockhart. Morello. Mayo. McKnight. McLean Lane. Mendick. Miller. O'Brien. Plotsky. Reinhardt. Simpson. Smith. Stevens. Touche. Tunney. Ward. Willingham. Looks like 38.
I'd like to make note of additional sponsors with the clerk. First item under previous business, please.
Resolution number 527 for 2018, a public hearing on proposed local law U for 2018.
All those in favor? Opposed? Or 527 passes? Or 581, please.
Resolution to 581 for 2018, a public hearing on proposed local law O for 2018.
All those in favor? Opposed? Or 581 passes? First item under current business, please.
Authorizing an agreement with Core BTS, Inc. for purchase of new telephone communication system for the Albany County Nursing Home.
All those in favor? Opposed? 10 passes. Or 11, please.
Amending Resolution 403 for 2017 with Point Click Care Technologies, Inc. regarding electronic medical records and financing software.
All those in favor? Opposed? 11 passes. $12, please.
Authorizing submission of a grant application to Better Health of Northeast New York in conjunction with Albany Medical Center regarding the delivery system reform incentive payment program.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 12 passes. Or 13, please.
Authorizing an agreement with the Erie County Department of Senior Services regarding a pilot restaurant congregate dining program.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 13 passes. Or 14, please.
Amending Resolution 28 for 2018 with Peter Young Industries regarding the provision of additional home delivered meals for seniors.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 14 passes. Or 15, please.
Amending Resolution 28 for 2018. Excuse me. Amending Resolution 29 for 2018 with Senior Projects Pavilion regarding provision of additional home delivered meals for seniors.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 15 passes. Or 16, please.
Amending Resolution 33 for 2018 with Senior Services of Albany regarding the provision of additional congregate meal services for seniors.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 16 passes. Or 17, please.
Authorizing agreement with Access Transit, Inc. regarding transportation services for eligible seniors.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Or 17 passes. Or 18, please.
Amending Resolution 441 for 2017 with Access Transit, Inc. regarding transportation services for eligible seniors.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 18 passes. Or 19, please.
Endorsing the submission of a grant application by the South Albany Airport regarding aviation capital grant program.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 19 passes. Or 20, please.
Authorizing agreement with Albany Medical Center regarding morgue and laboratory services.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 20 passes. Or 21, please.
Authorizing an agreement with Better Health of Northeast New York, Inc. regarding crisis stabilization service.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 21 passes. Or 22, please.
Amending Resolution 60 for 2018 regarding the Million Hearts program.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 22 passes. Or 23, please.
Authorizing an agreement with New York State Department of Health regarding a REGAN program amending the 2019 health program.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 23 passes. Number 24, please.
Authorizing an agreement with New York State Unified Court System regarding court security of families of Raymond County courts.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 24 passes. Number 25, please.
Amending Resolution 291 from 2017 regarding statewide inoperable communications grant formula-based funding.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 25 passes. Number 26, please.
Authorizing agreements with various municipalities regarding participation in the Advanced Life Support Services Program.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 26 passes. Number 27, please.
Authorizing agreements with the town of Bergen, Scotland, Rensselaerville, West Alone, and the Delmar Bethlehem Volunteer Ambulance Service regarding emergency medical tech defibrillation services.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 27 passes. Number 28, please.
Authorizing the Public Defender's Office to consider out-of-county applicants for the position of Assistant Albany County Public Defender.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
No.
Take note of Mr. Higgins' vote.
So noted. I'm sorry, did you want to walk off? No. Oh, sorry. Thank you. So noted.
That's 35 and 1.
Actually, it'll be 37.
Okay.
There are 38 present.
28 passes, 37 to 1.
Correct.
Number 29, please.
Adopting an updated disposition plan by Albany County for real property acquired through the in-rem delinquent tax foreclosure property.
Mr. Ward, do you have an amendment for item number 29?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So we need a motion to amend.
I'll make a
Motion by Mr. O'Brien, seconded by Mr. Ward. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? On the amendment?
Adopting an updated disposition plan by Albany County for real property acquired through the in-rem delinquent tax foreclosure process by Mr. Ward.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Kraus?
Would Mr. Ward be willing to just clarify what the amendments are about?
Mr. Ward?
This amendment is basically a friendly amendment which would allow for notification to the local municipality if we were to dispose of property to a nonprofit, which could be tax exempt, would be tax exempt property, or for economic development purposes, which would affect the locality. And it just allows for 30-day notice to the local municipality.
So under existing law, there is now a requirement for such notice?
Not under this disposition policy, it's just an amendment to the policy that we're going to pass tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ward. Thank you, Mr.
One other
Chairman.
question, and also then, what, by exclusion then, for the other categories in the law, or in what's being proposed, there is no requirement to notify the municipality for the other categories?
Yeah, these two categories could have a financial impact.
No,
on
I
the
understand,
municipalities.
I'm just clarifying.
That's correct, yes.
That the others do not require, the other categories in the bill do
Correct.
not require notification of municipalities.
Is not required.
Does not.
It is
So
always-
you're adding that here for these two because of the implications for the municipalities.
Yeah. I mean, it's always nice to notify them on other issues.
No, I agree.
However, it may be incumbent on this legislature, this legislative body, legislators in the individual districts to notify them, let them know what's going on. But with these two categories, it could be financial impact to municipalities.
Mr. Mallitz?
In the process, the policy is that this body, no matter what happens, has the last say. So with any properties that come in that we take, before it goes to the land bank, or even if the land bank has it, anyone in this room can raise their hands and say, I got a problem with this piece of property, and let's move it, take it out, which we've done many times. So in the end, this legislative body will have the final say on what properties we vote on. Thank you.
All those in favor of number 29 as amended? Aye. Opposed?
Now,
No also.
Resolution 29 passes 35 to 2.
What's yours?
36 to 2.
36 to 2, Mr. Chairman.
Failed math or something.
Passes.
Resolution 30, please.
Authorization to enter into an agreement with the New York State Office of Indigent Legal Services regarding a second upstate quality improvement and caseload reduction grant.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 30 passes. Resolution 31, please.
A bond resolution of the County of Albany, New York, authorizing the undertaking of a capital project for the Albany County Correctional Facility, stating the estimated maximum cost thereof is $2,700,000. Appropriating said amount, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,700 of serial bonds for the same county to finance said program.
Long roll call, please.
Bullock.
Yes.
Bergdorf.
Yes.
Cal.
Yes.
Chapman. Clay. Camiso. Kraus.
Yes.
Cunningham. Dawson.
Yes.
Demolowitz.
Yes.
Drake.
Yes.
Ethier. Feeney.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Quinier.
Yes.
Grimm.
Yes.
Higgins. Hogan.
Yes.
Andrew Joyce.
Yes.
Raymond Joyce. McCackis.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Moriello.
Yes.
Mayo.
Yes.
McKnight. McLean Lane. Mendick.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Pulaski.
Yes.
Reinhardt.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Stevens.
Yes.
Touche.
Yes.
Tunney.
Yes.
Ward. Willingham. Unanimous.
31 passes. For 32, please.
Amending the 2019 Sheriff's Office budget, the 911 Communication Funds.
Long roll call, please.
Sure. Bullock.
Yes.
Bergdorf. Cal.
Yes.
Chapman. Clay. Camiso. Kraus.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Dawson. Malowitz. Drake. Ethier. Feeney.
Yes.
Klein. Frenier.
Yes.
Grimm.
Yes.
Higgins. Hogan.
Yes.
Andrews.
Yes.
Raymond. McCackis.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Moriello.
Yes.
Mayo. McKnight. McLean Lane.
Yes.
Mendick.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
O'Brien. Pulaski. Reinhardt. Simpson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Stevens.
Yes.
Touche.
Yes.
Tunney.
Yes.
Ward. Willingham.
Yes.
Unanimous. 38.
32 passes. Number 33, please.
Authorizing the Albany County Sheriff to create a new paramedic position, emergency medical technician position regarding the advanced life support system and amending the 2019 Sheriff's Office budget.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 33 passes. For 34, please.
Authorization to accept grant funding and enter an agreement with the New York State Office of the Attorney General regarding the CAMS body-worn camera program and amending the 2019 Sheriff's Office budget.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? For 34 passes. For 35, please.
Amending 2019 Sheriff's Office budget, public safety entry points.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 35 passes. Number 36, please.
Public hearing on amending 2019-2023 capital program.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 36 passes. For 37, please.
Authorizing the appropriation of grant funding regarding New York State Homeland Security Grant Program.
Note by abstention. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 37 passes. For 38, please.
Authorizing the conveyance of real property located at Pinnacle Road in Ditchcott Bush in the town of Bern.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 38 passes. For 39, please.
Authorizing conveyance of real property located at 142 Green Street.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 39 passes. For 40, please.
Amending 2019 Albany County budget administrative adjustments.
Long roll call, please.
Bullock.
Yes.
Bergdorf.
Yes.
Cal.
Yes.
Chapman. Clay. Camiso. Kraus.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Dawson. Malowitz. Drake.
Yes.
Ethier, Feeny, Fine, Lanier, Grimm,
Here, yes.
Higgins, Hogan,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Lukacs,
Yes.
Lockhart, Mariello, Mayo, McKnight, McLean Lane,
Yes.
Mendick,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
O'Brien, Plotsky,
Yes.
Reinhardt, Simpson, Smith,
Yes.
Stevens, Touche,
Yes.
Tony, Ward, Willingham, unanimous.
40 passes. Resolution 41, please.
Amending Resolution 542 for 2018 regarding chemical deficiency services and amending the 2019 Department of Mental Health budget.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution 41 passes. Resolution 42, please.
Amending Resolution 543 for 2018 regarding outpatient services and amending the 2019 Department of Mental Health budget.
All those in favor? Opposed? 42 passes. Resolution 43, please.
Authorizing agreement with New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee regarding the Highway Safety Grant and Child Passenger Safety Programs and amending the 2019 Department of Public Works budget.
Ms. Plaski?
No abstention.
Noted. All those in favor? Opposed? 43 passes, 1 abstention. 44, please.
Amending Resolution 115 for 2018 as amended by Resolution 313 for 2018 with comprehensive health care solutions regarding billing and debt collection services.
All those in favor? Opposed? 44 passes. 45, please.
Authorizing the submission of a grant application and acceptance to New York State Department of State regarding the countywide resiliency grant program and amending the 2019 Albany County budget.
All those in favor? Opposed? 45 passes. Resolution 46, please.
Amending Resolution 574 for 2018 regarding the conveyance of real property in the town of Rensselaerville.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution 46 passes. Resolution 47, please.
Authorizing corrections to tax roll in the town of Rensselaerville.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution 47 passes. Resolution 48, please.
Authorizing corrections to the tax roll in the town of Bethlehem.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution 48 passes. Resolution 49, please.
Authorizing refund of real property taxes in the town of New Scotland.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution 49 passes. Resolution 50, please.
Authorizing a levy upon the city of Cohoes property of the amount needed for various purposes.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution 50 passes. Resolution 51, please.
Amounts levied for unpaid water and sewer charges in the city of Cohoes.
All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution 51 passes. Resolution 52, please.
Authorizing the county exec to relocate the Board of Elections to 260 South Pearl Street, the city of Albany.
Mr. Bergdorf.
Mr. Chairman, I rise respectfully. I'm going to oppose this resolution, and I want to explain to my colleagues why and where I think maybe the process broke down. We have a Board of Elections which is administered by a Republican commissioner and a Democratic commissioner. Many times folks at the Board of Elections don't agree on everything and things are contested, but in this particular instance, our two commissioners are unanimous in that the DMV building does not work for them. That's a point, I'll come back to it, but the real question is, why are we even here in the first place? Well, we're here because the state of New York, DMV, put out a press release that says the new Albany DMV location is all about ease. They moved DMV from its current location to within 200 or 300 yards of the current location of DMV because it's all about ease. Here's the DMV Executive Deputy Commissioner. According to the DMV, the new office is centrally located with plenty of parking. It's accessible to customers using public transportation, who can take Capital District Transportation Authority routes 1, 712, or 905 to the West Mall Station stop, which is a stone's throw from the office. We're excited about providing a new location for our customers, said Terry Egan. It is in a convenient area of the city along a bus line, and we're also incorporating new technology, and customers can expect better service. Wow. State of New York moved DMV from our building to a location that they perceive as better. I absolutely applaud the folks who would like to move it to DMV. I understand the needs of the community and the desire to do economic development, but this isn't about economic development, and it isn't about Republicans and Democrats. Because I live in a town where there are 57,000 voters, and there are more Democrats than Republicans, and there are conservatives, and there are independents, and there are blanks. And there are 47,000 in the city of Albany, and the current DOD location is right on that border, so it services over 100,000 people. Just to the north of us are Cohoes and Waterville, 9,000 voters in Cohoes, 4,800 voters in Waterville. So there's a whole lot of people that are currently being served by a central location. And I think that any discussion or any vote on this subject, someone has to advocate for those people. This is not just an economic development decision. The second thing where I think we as a body fell down a little bit is that we have now ceded a responsibility which we have entrusted to 2 election commissioners to an engineering firm from Latham. CT Mail is now running the Board of Elections. They're going to tell you where the offices should be, who gets a private office, whether there are conference rooms for opening absentee ballots. We've even got a 3-page memo which tells us how much better the storage is going to be in DMV, although much of that space is taken up by a sprinkler system, so I'm not quite sure I understand what that thing is. But it appears that this engineering firm, which knows nothing about running elections, our commissioners know how to run elections, because that's what we charge them to do, is to run fair, nonpartisan, and competitive elections. That's their sole mandate. So now we've ceded our responsibility to a technical memo from someone, our firm, that was basically asked to make it fit in the building. So what is being proposed tonight, and there's, we can argue about square footage, they're in 24,000 now, but 2,000 of it isn't usable. They want to go into 16, but we want them to go into 16,000 square foot. At the law committee meeting, we asked the general person from CT Mail, well, we've had this major reorganization of statewide voting responsibilities. We're going to have early voting. We're going to have 9 days of people coming in to vote. How did you build all the new responsibilities for registration, new machines? Commissioner sent out a letter, at least to the members of our caucus today. They got to buy hundreds of new machines. We're invited in to see them next week.
Mr. Bergdorf, it's been 5 minutes. Can we wrap it up, please?
All right, I will wrap it up. Sure. I'm sorry if some of these comments were...
If other folks who wish to speak to
That's right, I understand. But the plan that's before us doesn't even accommodate early voting. So our commissioners tell us there are 24,000 square feet and they need more space rather than less space, and we're going to put them in 16,000 square feet in a location which the state of New York left because it was not convenient for the community. I think we've got a system, we've fallen down on the job here as a county legislature. There should be a consensus here. Our commissioners should be consulted to the point where there are adequate resources available to them. We find time and energy to do everything else. For the 200,000 voters of Albany County, they deserve nothing less. Thank you.
Ms. McLean-Lane?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate you recognizing me. The current location of the Board of Elections, I visited quite a few times. I still have to concentrate very hard to find the road where I have to take the right on. And I invariably pull into Westgate Plaza, and then I have to hink my way around. And then in addition, the parking is generally in the back, and then you've got to walk around. The location, in my view, and I respectfully disagree with my colleague, Mr. Bergdorf, is not centrally located in the county. The central location of the county will be Clarksville. However, I think we can all agree that population versus, daytime, residency, et cetera, which is usually accomplished by commuters, businesses, et cetera. Maybe Clarksville, though absolutely beautiful, may not be the best location for something of this, nature. The other consideration that I also have is when I read the bill memo for early voting, what stood out to me incredibly was this is also about resolving inequity. And that is the legislative intent of early voting. Unfortunately, the current location of BOE is in a commercial corridor. It is not in a location where people can easily walk back and forth and say, walk in, pop in, go back out, maybe bring their kids with them. I certainly would not feel very comfortable walking down Central Avenue from a bus, then having to walk down there, down to the BOE location, which is not right on the street there. So you can't just walk in the door, you do have to get to it. And of course, November is not exactly the most warm month of the year here in upstate New York. The issue of inequity, of course, we're trying to get people to vote that don't have access to vote. And this is one of the reasons that I had drafted an email to our, majority district caucus. And, I had thought about it to say that I think a lot of this decision rests with them. These districts have been protected through lawsuits and have been created specifically to ensure that there is representation. And I think anything that we could do to encourage them to vote, to me, is extraordinarily important. Of course, it's in my best political interest that it be right near the town of Colony. But I don't think my best political interest is what is important here. What is important is legislative intent of the sweeping voting reforms we've recently had. Of course, there are financial concerns here. They are significant. But I do think that, as was mentioned by one of my other colleagues who I had the pleasure of having lunch with on Saturday, that there has not been another plan submitted to us about another location sourced by the very people that want more space, or et cetera, which are these commissioners that knew that this was coming up, this lease. So this is our option ahead of us. I encourage my colleagues to vote for it, and I thank you for accommodating me.
Mr. Jamalowitz?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let's look at this as a business, a little business. I own a building. It's empty. Empty. I have employees over here in another building where I'm paying $360,000 a year in rent. Does that make sense? If you're a business person, you're going to keep spending that rent every month, $360,000 a year, when you move them into your own building and save that revenue. It just doesn't make sense. The fact is that as time goes on, the county will actually save hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years to come. It's a practical business sense that we do this. It makes sense. And look, it's so, I'm just as close as Albany in the city to get to Russell Road. Russell Road is a lot convenient for me, but I certainly understand the economics of it. And it certainly makes sense for my taxpayers. I'm a steward of their money. It's their money that's going to be paying that $360,000 a year. A lot of times we forget whose money we're dealing with here. Building's empty. You know, now I'm going to start listening to the state of New York and taking their advice on how they're doing things. That's scary. Well, I'm just saying, I'm supporting the resolution. That makes sense. I hear these conservatives all the time, you know, we've got to save money, we've got to do this. Here's an opportunity tonight for you to save $360,000. You can put in your newsletter next month that you saved them that much money because you moved this Board of Elections to an empty building that the county owns. Thank you.
Mr. Drake?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. While we're on the subject of business, I bring a perspective to this move coming from many of you know the building and real estate industry. And, Mr. DeBalowitz begins to underscore a point that I wanted to make, but in a different way. I think that the financial review of this situation has been undertaken in a fundamentally flawed way, which is that we're not considering the total cost of the situation. It is absolutely true that we own the Albany County building that the DMV is currently in. But any analysis of this has to net the rent that we're paying at the site on Russell Road or any other site in Albany County, whatever that may be, less the cost of fit up to put the Board of Elections there. So while it's a one-time cost, it is a real cost that needs to be amortized over the life of the lease. In addition to that, we have to net out the income that we could derive by renting out our space at the DMV building to another tenant, and or a sale of that building. The answer may still be that it's cheaper, or it could be that it's more expensive. My issue is that it is not taken into consideration in any of the memos that have flown about the room like so many paper airplanes. We have to consider it's also more than just finances. We have to consider that when we look at this, we're not looking at it in a vacuum of Russell Road versus the former DMV site. I am aware that the Board of Elections is actively seeking other sites. They're working with professional real estate representation. They've been out beating on doors, knocking on doors, trying to find a good site that will serve the voters of Albany County. Key being the voters of Albany County. That's what the most important thing here is, right? So my concern is that when you look at the CT mail piece, there's no comparison. It's only done in a vacuum. It's either the DMV as an alternative or where we are today. But it doesn't say, well, if we had a different site, this would be more appropriate, or so on and so forth. I think we're missing something here. It doesn't take into account the rental value. It doesn't take into account operations and comments from the Board of Election. We're missing the boat here. Bergdorf, Legislator Bergdorf, he said, we're not accounting for the early voting space. And I did speak to the Board of Elections about that. I think that is a serious concern, again, from a real estate perspective. If I take a 22,900 square foot space and I put it into a 19,000 square foot space, and I have to expand almost immediately, am I making a financially prudent move? What am I going to do when I have to expand? And if you believe like I do that the idea here is to serve the constituency and the voters, and we need to be ready for those voters, why aren't we taking that into account today? It's a business decision, right? So in the newsletter, what I'd like to be able to say to my constituents is, not only did I do a financially prudent move, but I looked at the long view, and I took into account the needs of you, the voters in Albany County, and your pocketbook for the next 10 to 20 years, not just what might be cheap and easy today. Remember, I got to fit up that building before I move in. It's going to cost money, it's going to take time. There may be an alternative out there that costs significantly less to make ready. We have to explore that. This isn't the time to make that decision until we have those alternatives in hand. And then we can properly compare Russell Road, the former DMV site, sites A, B, and C. Thank you.
Mr. Clay?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not, I think we've heard enough rhetoric, so I'm not going to go through all of that. We all know what the cost factors are. It's been well publicized. What I will say is that the LBC supports the move 100%. Now my district is on the other side of town. And I have yet to have one person who is opposed to it. Who are opposed to it because it makes, economically, it makes sense. So I'll cut through the rhetoric, Mr. Chairman, just to say the LBC supports the move. I support it from my own district on the other side of town because Russell Road has always presented a problem. I think my colleague said, you have to almost have a road map to get back up in there. So, having said that, sir, thank you.
Ms. Cunningham?
I'm also in strong support of the move. First of all, the press release that Mr. Bergdorf cited. A press release is a marketing document. It's not a newspaper article. It's written by the state to make it look like they made a great decision. So I think we need to understand what we're reading and citing when we quote from a press release. Secondly, for anybody who's watching this or in the news tomorrow, this is what I would call a no-brainer. We have a building that we are renting for $360,000 a year. We have a tenant that just left a similarly sized office space that has more parking, that also is in a part of the city that we as legislators would like to add our policy sense and our decision making to enhance and improve and grow the South End. We know there are businesses that have left there. We have an opportunity to move the BOE into a building that we own, that is vacant, in a neighborhood that could use some new business there, new energy, new employees, buying lunch every day, folks that are coming down and registering to vote and then picking up something at the drugstore or the McDonald's that's right there. We have an opportunity to do that right now, right at our fingertips. I do not understand why we wouldn't grab that. Also, related to the access issue, I'm right there with Allie. I've been to the Board of Election a million times. Every time I go there, and I don't normally get lost when I'm going to places that I've been before, I take the wrong turn and end up at Home Depot. Take the teenager test. I have teenagers who are registering to vote at BOE and getting their driver's license at DMV. Guess which place they get lost? Every time. BOE. They can find the DMV. It's easy to find. It's right off of 787. It's centrally located. The BOE is kind of tucked away places and behind those stores, and it looks like you're going into a mall. I don't understand why we wouldn't want to put something as important as our Board of Elections in a very visible place in a building downtown that is accessible by a major highway that you're not going to get snagged up in traffic on. Finally, going to the vendor issue. Yes, I would agree with my colleagues on the other side who talked about kind of the clunky way this was rolled out. Fine. But you know what? CT Mail works for us. So what is the next step if this happens? The next step is CT Mail gets with the BOE commissioners, who I think are kind of resistant to doing this and not really interested in being helpful and saying, yeah, we could make this work, and here's what our needs are, and we have an opportunity to have this new space designed the way we want. We can be more efficient in how things are put together. Well, that's going to be the next step. And they're going to sit down and they're going to figure out how they can create new space that maximizes what their duties and roles are. And with the new mandates of the voter reform legislation, perhaps they can now invent a way to carry out that mission more successfully, having the opportunity to redesign their new space. Again, I think this falls right square in the bucket of no-brainer, and I think we should do it.
Mr. Bullock.
The current problem with the Board of Elections is you can't find them. I think the previous speaker has eloquently laid that out. What I'm for here is putting the Board of Elections in a public building. Board of Elections was in this building for years without a lease agreement, without that money, $360,000 a year, which was much more last year, and the year before that was also more, that we could have saved. We moved it out as a temporary move, But for the Board of Elections to be in a publicly owned building, which is most important to me, and the publicly owned building is the DMV. Whether on the south end, where there's more population to serve, and more central, and you can find it. So, you know, because it was the former DMV. And the current DMV, by the way, went to a private owner. And that building there is accessible. There's no comparison to where the current Board of Elections building is and the DMV where it now is. You know, just go look. You can't find the current Board of Elections. So I encourage you, and especially Republicans, you should be for saving money. I don't understand you. You should be voting for this. Save some money. Vote for it. Thank you.
I love the nonpartisan politics of this body.
Thank you. We know that initially when this conversation first started about the Board of Elections, it dealt with the dangerous conditions that these people would have to be moved to. That was the initial conversation that came from the commissioners of the Board of Elections. That was also the same argument that was given during the hearings when we were doing the budget also. I questioned Rachel Bleding face to face. She sat right next to me. And so to say that now this has to do with economics, I have a little slight problem with that. Also, the one thing that we do know, they had plenty of time to search out for other space rather than waiting until April. And it was only after DMV decided they were moving, then all of a sudden when the county exec decided, okay, we can find some place, oh, we have a spot. We have a spot that we already own. But again, I'm going to go back to what the initial response from the commissioners was. The Help America Vote Act means just that. We should be helping the citizens of Albany County vote. And it is true. Where the Board of Elections is presently voting and has been there for some time now is located in a commercial district. And it's only convenient for those employees to go to Price Chopper to pick up their dinner for the night. And I'm not mad at them about that. But the one thing I am concerned about now is we have an opportunity to bring thousands of people where they can actually walk to the polls and vote. Early voting does not take place until November. And in addition to that, that early voting is supposed to take place in several different locations throughout Albany County, not at the board specifically. And that is what the law states. So I think before we get into, why we should be going here and there, we need to think about what the real purpose of this is about. And that is ensuring that people in Albany County do get the vote.
And so I would submit to you and the rest of you that are in here that we really should consider this place because one, it's already set up as far as technology is concerned in computers. I mean, if motor vehicle was in there, we know they were using up-to-date electronics, text, computers, and so forth. So the place is already set up for that. I too have toured the Board of Elections, and they have rooms filled with the bags that they take out to the various polling sites on election night. Well, we can put bags anywhere. I'm sure they can find, and maybe make better use of the storage space instead of just having specific rooms. They could, I was looking at all different kind of ways that they could do that in a large storage space. Nobody says that you have to have a room that's specific for Coles or City of Albany or for Gilman or Albany. They separate different places out there. Not only that, when you go into DMV, you know that that huge room that they have there, the space that we have now is a little small counter, which is no bigger than the space that is right here. So let's be for real, and let's be honest, and let's do the right thing by putting that, moving the Board of Elections to where they have proposed and helping to make more Americans be able to vote. Thank you.
Mr. Kraus?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think this issue has more moving parts than the Saturn rocket that took us to the moon. There are so many good explanations given here tonight, and I've listened to all of them. Some of them I agree with, some of them I don't. But I think sometimes we miss the point. In January, the state legislature passed a number of bills regarding changing voting in New York State. I would guess that most of the members in this room have not read through that legislation. But I know two people in this room who probably have. They are the people that we have charged with running the elections in Albany County. They serve a vital role. And as Mr. Bergdorf mentioned, it's not often that they agree, but they agree on this issue. And what concerns me is that we have not spent the kind of time we should really focusing upon not just the needs of today, not just that there's an available building, not just that we're going to save money, maybe, but what are the needs going to be with a whole new election system that we're dealing with? And what happens if a year from now we find out, wow, we need another 10,000 square feet of space. We don't have it. And we'll be back here having this discussion again. It doesn't make sense. I'm not saying Russell Road is the ideal location. It probably isn't. But there's probably someplace out there that would fit the needs and allow us for unexpected issues. Early voting. We haven't done that in this state. We don't know what the turnout's going to be. We don't know what the requirements of space are going to be. None of us do. And we really thought that through. So again, I think it's not just about the money. Really, it's about the people. And it's not about the people we can think we can take care of tomorrow. It's about the people we're going to take care of for the next decade. There's a proposal out there that's going to allow early voting for folks who have not reached the age of early voting, early registration for young people who haven't even reached the age of 18 yet. How is that all going to work? What's going to be involved there? I don't think a lot of people in this room know it. But I think there are two people in this room, that's their business. And they agree that this particular spot that we're looking at isn't the right fit. So I think we owe it to ourselves to continue this conversation and to try to see if we can find a place. And maybe at the end of the day, it ends up being that DMV building. I don't know. But I don't think we've really looked at all of the potential issues that we're going to be faced with here. How could we? Those bills just passed. We've never done it. But there are people here who are closer to doing it than any of us. I think we should listen to that. And get away from all of the other issues, the money and the this and the that, and whether or not it's motivated by people not wanting to go to certain areas and things of that nature. It's what's going to be best for the people, all the people of Albany County. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. McKnight?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I stand tonight as a proud South Ender, and I welcome Albany County Board of Election in my district. People are excited about the fact that we have somewhere in close proximity where they can go and register to vote. We house everybody's homelessness all over America, right here on South First Street. Now we can even get some of those people registered to vote. We have the immigrants up there in 99 Pine Street. We can register some of these folks to vote. We have public housing throughout the South End. I think there's about 9 high-rise buildings. Some of those folks don't like to walk to the Board of Election, but they might come down to this new spot. We're going to make it very comfortable and convenient for them, because I'm going to make sure of that. I will be bringing them down there personally. I'm telling you that. You bring your cop cars down there with your inmates, I'm going to register to vote. They're going to be called South End residents now. 12202 is their new zip code. And I think what we're doing is a very smart thing. We bought the Department of Social Services. I handed a $9 million check over to us from the Department of State. And it worked fine. Everybody said, oh, that's not going to work. There's nowhere to park. We worked that out. We know how to work out problems. We're good at this, folks. Don't be afraid. Be bold. Be courageous. Be willing to move forward in life instead of stuck in the mud. Okay? We are going to make this thing pass tonight. We're going to go down there and celebrate, cut the red ribbon on this thing. And we're going to be proud and pleased and happy to know that we have our own Board of Elections in the South End of Albany, New York. And I ask each and every one of you to support this legislation to bring this thing forward. If you do, you're making a big mistake right here tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rise in opposition to this for 3 principal reasons. First of all, on the fiscals. Yes, as Mr. Drake said, we're losing the rent if we move the DMV into South Pearl Street. We're losing the rent we could get from that building or the sale from that building. But secondly, the architect has conceded that it could cost up to $100,000 to move from the place we're already in to go downtown Albany. $100,000 of taxpayer money. Secondly, where did our election commissioners come from? They were elected by this body. The Democrats chose the Democrat election commissioner. The Republicans chose the Republican election commissioner. And what do you know? There's bipartisan agreement and cooperation. How often do we get that? Bipartisan agreement, bipartisan cooperation. They both agree we shouldn't be making the move. Are we really suggesting we think it's a good idea to force the 2 election commissioners into a building they don't think they should be moving into? Who thinks that's sensible? And thirdly, a raw deal for Gittleton, especially where my district is in the west end of Gittleton. Folks, they want to do business with the county. What do they have to do? They have to go all the way to downtown Albany, maybe caught up in congestion traffic, maybe find a parking spot. There was one exception to that, the election board, where we could pop on 25, get off at Everett, and drive into the election board, which, by the way, we can improve the signage there if you can't find the election board. But this is certainly going to be more inconvenient for my Gittleton representative, for my Gittleton district. So I don't think misrepresenting my constituents is my idea of a no-brainer. So I hope my Gittleton colleagues, and by the way, the ones from Colony, because the current office is right on the Colony line, I hope you join me tonight in voting no on this deal, because it isn't sensible, and I think a no vote will send that message. Thank you.
Mr. Fine?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm strongly in support of this. This is actually in my district, so I want to speak a little bit about the location. Support not only because I can walk to it from my house, but also because I think this makes a lot of sense. When I hear a lot of people talking about this building being inconveniently located, not centrally located, it just doesn't make sense. It's right next to the county health department, the county mental health department. It steps away from the building we're in now, from our county building, from the state capitol, from the state buildings. This is the definition of centrally located. It's right in downtown Albany. You know, I think a lot of people brought up points about Help America Vote Act, voter accessibility, and I think when we're talking, especially we see throughout the country, rising voter suppression, I think we really have to look at what we're doing in our own county. And I think this is a real opportunity to increase accessibility. People in the South End, a lot of people don't have cars. A lot of people take public transportation or walk. It's a lot easier for people who live a few miles away from the South End, who have cars to get to the South End, and from someone from the South End who doesn't have a car to get up to Russell Road. So if you look at the the voter turnout, and I've looked at the results, I think a lot of districts have 2-3 times the amount of votes in an election than in my district, and I see this as a real opportunity to increase voter turnout, which I think is beneficial to all of us. If we can increase voter turnout, that's good for democracy. So I think this is something we should all be supporting. I also just want to add this. We did hire a consultant they're experts in studying spaces. They say that this space is ideal. So people are criticizing this CT mail study as if it's some sort of bad study. But these are professionals. They study. They have a job to do. They study it, and I trust them more than anyone else on space layout and what makes sense from that perspective. Thank you.
Mr. Higgins?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to belabor some of the points that have been mentioned tonight. Just a few things to what Mr. Demolis' point was. I thought it was a bad deal financially for the taxpayers in the county of Albany 4 years ago. And before that, it was an incredibly exorbitant lease that we never should have entered into to begin with. So just on the finances, I think this is a good idea. We talked about the 2% property tax cap, and how the state is constantly sending mandates down to us. Well, here we are with an opportunity to save over $300,000 in recurring savings. I want to hear Pete, anybody in this room, about the cost for early voting to enhance the franchise in this county, because these savings from this move will pay for that in the event that the state doesn't send any money down as part of the budget. On the early voting, there's a lot of misconceptions about what the bill does, what a lot of the other reforms do. I actually negotiated the bills on behalf of the Senate earlier in January, so I'm keenly aware of what they do. There's a lot of misinformation that was brought up in the law committee and on the floor tonight. Specifically, the bill lays out metrics for what locations will be early voting sites for the November election and next year. It doesn't mandate that the County Board of Elections be a site. That being said, the bill specifically puts specific metrics in there that early voting sites must meet. And I would submit to this body that the current location off Russell Road doesn't meet those metrics that are in the current bill, so you couldn't even have that as an early voting site. However, the DMV, which is on a main thoroughfare, accessible to public transportation, that is, okay? And just one last point here. In the second resolve clause, there was a lengthy debate about when the actual move should occur in the law committee, and I had suggested that assuming this bill passes, that we require the move to occur after the June primary results are certified, so that the Board of Elections has enough time to actually go through the canvass and make sure that the results are correct, especially given the fact that it's a local year for everybody in this room. That being said, the last part from here was not brought up in the committee meeting, and I would suggest we strike the language in the second resolve clause, where I would just put a period where it says June 2019 primary election results, and I would bracket out and strike everything from the comma to the end. That language, I don't know where it came from, but it's very vague. It says that the move should, instead of authorized during a time, it can't be authorized at a time to interfere with the board's responsibilities, but it doesn't say who is that person. Is it the county executive? Is it the two commissioners? I think it's very vague, and it's not what we discussed in the case. So I would like to amend the bill to strike that language just for the period after results. And that, I think, would reflect what the intent was in the committee meeting when this issue came up.
Mr. Joyce?
Thank you. Kind of what Lucy said, a proud South End, I'm a proud West Ender, and a little taken aback by a lot of folks who get lost in my district. I have an issue with Russell Road. With that being said, I also have an issue with what Mr. Grimm said about being inconvenient for government
My constituents can actually walk to the current Board of Elections, and I currently support the proposal to move it. And for points that Mr. Drake made, you know, he seconded Terry's comments about it's more than just the finances. And the one thing we didn't touch upon is it is more than just the finances. It's talking about a struggling community where many anchors have come up and left. We're talking about economic development. These things are all talking about in our lead agenda. Economic development, jobs, communities, families. So I support the move. I could walk to the Board of Elections from where I live now, but I'd rather invest in a community and have Albany County lead by example and invest in the South End and support this move. I hope you all join me. Thank you. Thank you.
I want to share some final thoughts on Resolution 52 myself. Get a little scientific, a little bit personal, but bear with me. Much has been said about the square footage at each site. According to the professionally rendered space analysis that we have on hand, after you factor in walls, corridors, bathrooms, janitorial space, and other non-assignable space, the current BOE site in North Russell Road is larger than the proposed South Pearl Street site by roughly 2,000 square feet. This, in my opinion, will be very manageable once we move into the new space, do retrofit, do some more space analysis, talk with our commissioners, figure out exactly what it is they need now that we're in the space after the June primary. There are also higher ceilings at the proposed South Pearl Street site, which results in more cubic footage than there is at the North Russell Road site, more space analysis. And the proposed South Pearl Street site has more parking available, has sprinkler systems, which is for fire suppression, public safety, and throughout the site is 100% compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act standards. There's money in our budget for the eventual move and any minor renovations that need to occur at the proposed site in 2019. And this move would save Albany County as much as $100,000 in 2019 and 2 to 3 times that amount in 2020 and beyond. In closing, the proposed location that has been characterized as inconvenient for county residents, even dangerous, independent of the destructive, problematic message that sends to the people who live in Albany's South End, I am determined, along with my colleagues in the county legislature, to develop a plan and find the resources to bring the county's Board of Election into every city and every town in Albany County. In 2019 and beyond, we're going to bring the county legislature into the county, into our towns, into our villages, part of our lead agenda, it's part of democracy. So voter registration, any other minor detail we need to bring about in our districts with the Board of Elections, bring Board of Elections to them, not make people come to the Board of Elections, where possible. Hopefully that mitigates any geographical concerns that people have with the proposed siting at South Pearl Street.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to take that formal motion to strike this language in the second resolve clause and get rid of it.
So on the amendment for Resolution 52?
Excuse me, do we see the amendment? Do we see the copies of the amendment?
Chris, did you want to gin something up, if you want to bracket it out and cross it out?
Really? Add a period here.
I think he just explained what he wanted to do.
I mean, second result was by the Albany County Legislature that the above referenced relocation to the Board of Elections shall not be authorized prior to completion of the canvass of the June 2019 primary election results. Insert period, strike, comma, thereafter till the end of the resolve clause, and bracket it after it's first. That's all it is. It's literally a deletion for
Mr. Ward.
Mr. Chairman, as a friendly to that, I thought I heard Mr. Higgins state that he wanted to clarify who was authorizing. And I was going to suggest that we strike the words "be authorized" and substitute the word "occur," so that it shall not occur prior to the completion of the re-canvass. And I was also going to, on the third sentence, strike "be authorized" again and substitute the same word. Is that, Mr. Higgins, is that what your intent?
Yeah, I think that's, Mr. Ward gets to it in a needed, simpler manner. Literally, we take out that.
Try to keep it simple.
The second amendment, though, is in the deleted sentence.
It's in line 2 of the resolve. Mr. Ward would have it say, by the Albany County Legislature, that the above referenced relocation of the Board of Elections shall not strike the authorized and insert the word occur prior to the completion of the canvass of the June 2019 primary election. And here, the rest is correct. That's good.
Well, I kept the second one in. I just get substituted occurs again twice. Yeah. It doesn't say you have to wait till after, it just says it can't occur while during their business.
Okay, Mr. Higgins, let me see if I have this right. Resolved by the Albany County Legislature that the above referenced relocation of the Board of Elections shall not occur prior to the completion of the canvass of the June 2019 primary election results, nor shall it occur during a time which would interfere with the Board of Elections' responsibilities related to the general election in the 2019 election. I have a second.
Clarification, please.
Mr. Demowitz.
Thank you. To the sponsor. So, bottom line, Chris, what are you talking about?
I just want to make sure. I want to get that Board of Elections, didn't get adequate time to canvass the primary results.
I'm sorry, what?
I want to make sure they complete the canvass of the primary in June, but that they're in before the November general.
Thank you.
That's the goal. Otherwise, you can potentially put it off in perpetuity.
Okay, on the amendment's been seconded. All those in favor?
Mr. Chairman.
Opposed?
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
I don't know what the amendment says.
We just explained it.
Could you read
ad
it
infinitum.
again, please?
Yes, we can.
Because, excuse me, Mr. Higgins made a motion, somebody seconded it, Mr. Ward tried, amended that again. I don't think everybody realizes what the exact amendment is.
Okay, I read it, but let me read it one more time
And we
just so
should
we're
have an
clear.
opportunity to have a discussion on it.
We've introduced it, it's been seconded, and we voted on it, so it's on the floor. We'll read it one more time. Resolved by the Albany County Legislature that the above referenced relocation of the Board of Elections shall not occur prior to the completion of the canvass of the June 2019 primary election results, nor shall it occur, excuse me. Thank you. Prior to the completion of the canvass of the June 2019 primary election results, nor shall it occur during a time which would interfere with the Board of Elections' responsibilities related to the general election in November 2019. So what we're doing is we are striking the be authorized in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th paragraph, and we are striking the second be authorized in the third sentence of the 5th paragraph to occur. That's what we're doing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Just a question. If I may. So I understand the language that you said, that you made the changes to. So who determines whether or not it would interfere with the Board of Elections' responsibilities related to the general election?
It's us.
We would do that as the legislature. Thank you.
Question's been called. We have the amendment version. We got to do this by phase here. We have an amended version of Resolution 52. On the amendment, it's been seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Long roll call on Resolution 52, please. As amended.
Bullock.
Yes.
Bergdorf.
No.
Cal.
Yes.
Chapman. Clay.
Yes.
Camiso. Kraus.
No.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Dawson.
Yes.
Demolowitz.
Yes.
Drake.
No.
Ethier. Feeney.
Yes.
Klein. Frenier.
Yes.
Grimm.
No.
Higgins. Hogan.
No.
Andrew Joyce.
Yes.
Raymond Joyce.
Yes.
Lekakis.
Yes.
Lockhart.
No.
Moriello.
No.
Mayo.
Yes.
McKnight.
Yes.
McLean Lane.
Absolutely.
Mendick.
No.
Miller.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Pulaski.
Yes.
Reinhardt.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Stevens.
No.
Touche.
Yes.
Cunning.
No.
Ward.
Yes.
Willingham.
Yes.
Resolution 52 passes 28 to 10. Resolution 53, please.
Authorizing the submission of a grant application in the New York State Office of Indigent Legal Services regarding legal services funding.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Resolution 53 passes. Resolution 54.
Authorizing the submission of a grant application in the New York State regarding the local records management improvement fund.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 54 passes. Resolution 55, please.
Authorizing agreement with the town of Bethlehem regarding the Albany County Shared Services Property Tax Savings Plan.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 55 passes. Number 56, please.
Authorizing submission of a grant application to the Capital District Transportation Committee regarding Waterloo Shaker Road Phase 3.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Number 57, please.
Authorizing submission of a grant application to the Capital District Transportation Committee regarding the New Carter Road corridor rehabilitation.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 57 passes. Number 58, please.
Amended resolutions 465, 2016 with New York State Department of Transportation regarding snow and ice.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 58 passes. 59, please.
Authorizing an agreement with American Rock Salt LLC regarding the purchase of road salt for the control of snow and ice on state and county roads.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 59 passes. Number 60, please.
Authorizing police agreement with Safety regarding Suite 7 at the Time Center.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 60 passes. Number 61, please.
Authorizing release agreement with Tech Forwarding at the Time Center.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 61 passes. Number 62, please.
Amending Resolution 182 for 2015 regarding abuse, neglect, and domestic violence of women over 50.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Reinhardt.
Can you add me to that, please?
Mr. Reinhardt would be added. All those opposed? 62 passes. Please add Mr. Reinhardt as sponsor, co-sponsor.
Done.
Number 63, please.
Authorizing an agreement with Children's Health Home in upstate New York regarding reimbursement of Medicaid care management services provided to children in Albany County.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 63 passes. Number 64, please.
Authorizing the acceptance of grant funding and agreements regarding the Child Rights Safe Harbor Initiative and amending 2019 Department of Children, Youth and Families.
Mr. Reinhardt. Please add Mr. Reinhardt as co-sponsor.
Yes, sir.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 64 passes. Number 65, please.
Authorizing acceptance of grant funding and submission of supervision and treatment services program for juveniles, New York State Office of Children and Family Services.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 65 passes. Number 66, please.
Authorizing an agreement with the Research Foundation of State University of New York regarding juvenile detention alternatives initiative.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Mr. Reinhardt is feeling generous tonight. 66 passes. And Mr. Reinhardt is a co-sponsor.
Done.
Number 67, please.
Authorizing agreements regarding the Children's Advocacy Center and amending 2019 Department of Children, Youth and Families.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 67 passes. Number 68, please.
Authorizing an agreement with New York State Industries for the disabled regarding ancillary laundry services for eligible individuals and the expanded in-home services to the elderly program.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Mr. Reinhardt would like to be added as co-sponsor.
Thank you.
Number 69, please.
Authorizing agreements regarding expanded in-home services for the expanded in-home services to the elderly program.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Number 69 passes. Number 70, please.
Authorizing an agreement with the New York State Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation regarding Snowmobile Trail Development Grant amending 2019 Department of Economic Development, Conservation, and Planning budget.
Mr. Joyce would be added as a co-sponsor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 70 passes. Number 71, please.
Public hearing on amending 2019-2023 capital program.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 71 passes. Number 72, please.
Public hearing on amending 2019-2023 capital.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 72 passes. Number 73, please.
Public hearing on proposed modification to the agriculture district number 3.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 73 passes. Number 74, please.
Public hearing on proposed local law B 2019.
Please refer that to the law committee.
Thank you.
Number 75, please.
Amending resolution 3058 from 2010 regarding the first responder appreciation program in Albany County in order to establish the commission and clarify appointment of its membership.
Please refer that also to the law committee. Number 76, please.
Public hearing on proposed local law N for 2018.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 76 passes. Number 77.
Public hearing on proposed local law T 2018.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 77 passes. Number 78, please.
Designating February 2019 as African American History Month in Albany County.
McKnight.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I ask all of our colleagues to come forth, please. Black legislative proctor from Albany County government, please come forward as we present this month's proclamation every month in February. The nation, as well as Albany County government, also prepared the same proclamation. Designated February 2019 as African American History Month in Albany County. Introduced by Mr. Clay, Mr. Ms. Willingham, Ms. Chapman, Mr. Simpson, Mr. Fine, and Honorable Mr. Joyce. Thank you. Whereas this February, this month in Albany County will join citizens from around the nation to commemorate African American History Month and pay tribute to the determination and the triumphs of African Americans throughout our country's history and to the legacy of their experience. And whereas in Albany County, along with the nation, has selected Black Migration as the theme 2019, observance of African American History Month. Whereas Black migrations follow the continuous movement in the 20th century rural southern United States, including relocation from farms to cities, and from the south to the northeast and the northwest. And whereas Black migrants follow the continuous movement of the 20th century rural south in the United States, including relocation from farms to cities. And whereas such migrations resulted in a more diverse and stratified interracial and interracial urban population, amid the changes socio-malo and the emergence of both Black industrial workers and Black entrepreneurs, the growing ragtime blues and jazz, and the blossoming of visual and literary arts. Now therefore be it resolved by this honorable body that February 2019 is hereby designated as African American History Month in Albany County, and all of the citizens of Albany County are encouraged to reflect on the history of the Black migrations, and be it further resolved that the clerk of the county legislature is here directed to forward certified copies of this resolution to the appropriate county officials. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Congress. Oh, questions?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to be added to that.
The whole body? I will be honored. The whole body.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, folks. First item under local laws.
Local law B for 2019, the local law of the County of Albany providing real property tax exemptions for non-residential real property converted to mixed-use property pursuant to New York Real Property Tax Law, Section 485A.
Please refer that to the law committee. Before we adjourn, I'd like to ask folks to join me up front for a photo with all the food we collected for the Martin Luther King Month food drive. Motion to adjourn? Motion? Second? All those in favor? Aye. All right, folks. Sheriff's deputy can lock the door so we can't get out.